What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel, where today we're going to be doing a very special build for a very special person. My wife. And my wife is not a gamer, really at all. You know, maybe occasionally Sims and, oddly enough, Mortal Kombat. But what she does love is singing, playing guitar, and writing her own music. And she really wants to start recording her own music. But her cheap, crappy $200, $300 Dell is not gonna cut it. Now, for basic music recording, you really don't need all that powerful of a PC. And like I keep saying, I'm not a wealthy man. So the build that we're going to be doing today isn't going to be super high-end or anything like that, but it's still going to be far more powerful than she needs. Now, despite becoming Americanized over the past couple years and falling in love with the country, my wife is actually from Argentina, and she's very proud of that fact. I mean, they just won the World Cup. Who wouldn't be proud of that fact? So we're also going to incorporate a little bit of that into the PC with a little special collage I have in mind. And I'm actually still waiting on a couple things for that to come in, so if you see my change of clothes towards the end of the video, don't freak out. Nothing happened. I'm okay. As far as the specs, let's just take a look as we go along. So let's get started. So for the motherboard, since this is basically her favorite color scheme right here, just minus the green, we're going to reuse the B450 Tough Plus 2 that I used in the last Ryzen 3 1200 video. Now this board I got on eBay for $50. He had it listed for $30, but he had it listed as the Micro ATX version, and he had it listed as broken because it didn't have simple CMOS battery. So I kind of feel bad when it comes to that situation and taking advantage of people that clearly don't know what they're selling. So I sent the guy a message and said, hey, send me an offer for 50 bucks, and here we are. And for the CPU, I went with the 5800 XT. And the reason why I went with the 5800 XT is kind of similar to the reasons I say in my other videos. It was on sale. And I had originally had in mind the 5700X, but then I saw that this was on sale for the same price. So I said, well, I know it's only 6% more, but for the same price, who wouldn't want that 6%? So 5800 XT it was. And while the 5800 XT does actually come with a pretty beefy stock cooler, we're not actually gonna use this cooler. Latch up. Are you ready for your new home? Ready for your new home. Latch down. You know, AM5 is obviously better than AM4 when it comes to performance in just about every way, but I do miss the easy installation of AM4 CPUs, the stress-free installation of AM4 CPUs is missed. For the RAM, I'm going to give her my last 16 gigs of the XLR8 3600. Now, if she was doing something other than maybe the occasional light video editing, then I would definitely want to give her 32. But for her plans and for playing The Sims or Mortal Kombat and most likely 1080p, 16 gigs is plenty. And the boot drive is going to be a Gen 3 512 gig Timetech, you know, nothing fancy, but this is strictly a boot drive. I'm also going to be putting a 1 terabyte hard disk in it as well. Alright, let's go ahead and get the cooler bracket swapped out, and then it'll be ready for the case. And for the cooler, I'm going to use the Burst Assassin, because you know I love my budget Thermalright stuff, and 5800 XT, while being a good CPU, is not a particularly hot one. So this is going to be more than enough. I mean, we definitely don't need water cooling for a build like this. Alright, case time. As far as the case, it definitely would have been my first choice, but she really fell in love with this kind of no-name brand sponsored ad case that she saw on Amazon. Now, the brand name was listed as Keeters or Kadirs, but as you can tell by the box, probably not something they stick with too often. But it is supposed to come with 6 standard ARGB PWM fans, so that's a plus. But nonetheless, I'm very interested to see what this case is going to turn out like. The box is not particularly heavy, so I don't think the metal is going to be all that great quality. And as far as I can tell, they're just trying to rip off the 011 Dynamic. The packing film is actually really good, but the metal, pretty cheap. It's definitely a 011 Dynamic Mini. And I was really hoping that the included fans were going to be on the bottom and top, because what I plan on doing would have been in this little empty space here. And unfortunately, they seem to be very closely daisy chained with a proprietary cable, even though they said it was 3 pins. So that may have just spoiled my plans. And yeah, my plans definitely ruined. All these 6 fans, or these 3 bottom fans, link right here with these 3 side fans. And there's no way that I'm gonna be able to move these 3 up to the top with this short little cable. I mean, it's just not gonna reach, and I don't wanna not use them. So we're gonna throw part of that out, but we'll still be able to do at least a little bit of it, which is the part that I think she was gonna like the best anyway. So let's go ahead and pop the motherboard in the case. Alright, let's get our I/O shield in here, and then we'll be all ready for insertion. No pun intended. Nah, I'm just kidding. That was very pun intended. And in goes the specimen. And she's in. Alright, now let's get you all wired up. Alright, so we got our hard drive disk in, and the preliminary wiring is done. Now it's time to go ahead and throw these bottom fans back on and see how much of a problem this right here is going to be. And for the 3 fans going up top and the rear one here, I'm going to use some more of these Thermalright fans, which should really match the pattern and design of these fans pretty well. And hopefully the RGB on these fans isn't too crap. Speaking of the RGB, this board doesn't actually have 5-volt 3-pin. It only has 4-pin 12-volt. So we're also going to be using a power converter as well, which I'm actually very glad of in this case, because the linkage for these fans didn't come with any SATA connection, and 10 fans on one header, it's not going to go well without SATA power. That's all out of the way. Now, before I go any further and before I actually hook up the converter and the RGB splitter and everything, I want to go ahead and get the power supply in so that I can tie them down before I have, RGB wires. And as far as what the power supply is, it's a 750, more than she needs, but it's not really a great one, nothing fancy. But to make up for it, we're gonna make nice pretty cables. And look, there's our green. And ta-da! Alright, and now let's just go ahead and get our cooler on, and then we'll grab the GPU and fire her up. Peel. Zang! And the fan that it comes with is the same as these, so it should match perfectly. Click. Oh, little spaces, oh, tiny spaces. Desperate measures. Looking pretty good. GPU time. Now, as far as what GPU is going in here, like I said earlier, she's not a gamer at all, so she doesn't need anything powerful whatsoever. And if she occasionally wants to play The Sims and Mortal Kombat, what I got will be okay to do so. Now that you know that, if you still want to make jokes about it down in the comments, go ahead, because I completely understand. It is a 3050. Now, in my defense, this is one of the original 8 gig 3050s. It's not the 6 gig, and it's not the slightly weaker clock one that NVIDIA snuck out on us. So again, if she wants to play The Sims and Mortal Kombat, or do some video editing even, she'll be more than capable of doing so. Here it comes, here it comes. Ah, yeah, sweet bliss. And now for the final touch. Like I said, I can't do the full special thing that I wanted to do here, but I can still fit one thing. Number 10. Lionel Messi. Ding! I'll tell you one thing for sure, I'm definitely never buying this brand cable extension again. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the actual cable, but these combs are useless. I mean, look at this. It just slides up and down. It keeps the cable separated, but no matter what I do, I can't get the cable to face. See? It just goes right back every single time. So, I think I'm gonna go get some of my cable mod combs and put them on here and see if they'll stay still, but we'll do that later. I also don't know how it took me this long to realize, but if you look at the blades on this fan and the blades on these fans, they're not reverse blade. So I guess I gotta go ahead and flip those around, which really sucks. I mean, that's definitely gonna screw with the aesthetics. Oh well. But you know, despite the crappy quality of the case and the cable extensions, I think it still turned out pretty darn good. And I know she's gonna love it, that's for sure. And it's definitely more powerful than anything she's been used to before. But if you're interested in your own custom PC, make sure you head on over to BeEasyBuilds.com, or for ultimate buyer protection, you can now find us on Amazon. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more great builds, tech tips, benchmarks, and tons of PC gaming related content. And until then, we'll see you guys next time. Be easy and game on.